Well, I made my deadline, and my deadline was to have these holly heads all ready for my son to pick up by Friday. And today's Friday, and he's on his way. So I told you guys I'd give you an update and show you a sneak peek of what we wound up with, and let's get to it. That's what we wound up with, and believe it or not, these are maxed out because if I raise this port anymore, we'd be putting epoxy in because it's very thin here. So that's about all you could do with these, unless you want to get into some heavy duty extreme epoxy in or welding, which we don't want to do that. And then here we have the famous twerker intake that we're going to use. And as you can see, them ports are a lot smaller than these ports. And as you can see, this is pretty well maxed out as well. And a lot of guys would say, well, that's not very good to have a port that small on an intake, on a port that big on a head. Well, I think we're going to be in for a little surprise when we see this little intake right here perform. And as I said in other videos, if it doesn't work out how we like, then this is an easy fix. Just take it off and put a better intake on it. But I'll tell you what, this little thing here, I am so happy with it. I moved where you can have a really nice line of sight. A couple guys brought up a good point, how these intakes are made, how they sweep around, they slant the runner, and especially this runner over here has a really narrow path. And that's all well and good for a small engine that's just a stock 289 or something like that. But we're going to be turning this motor up in the high sixes, maybe close to 7. And I think that this runner right here was one of the bad ones, and this one here was the worst. So I gave them the most work, and what I tried to do, I tried to get these consistent where it was sharing the same amount of airflow. When you figure things out by watching metal move and you're blowing through it, these runners will tell you a story. So what I seen out of this little intake right here, I like, and even though it's small, I think it's going to have a very good performance value to it, even though them heads right here are pretty blown out. I think it's going to pull pretty hard with the RPM band. I think it's going to be very responsive, and they're speculations, but it's my opinion, and we're going to see, hopefully, if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I straightened these runners out because they make them where they're on an angle, like I said, but here's the problem. They're so pinched off, you really don't have any volume of air going through them. So they're small enough as it is. So to really slant this over and then have that extra metal in there and pinch it all off, it's almost like if you're sucking through a straw and you take it and you pinch the straw off, and then you try to suck through the straw. It's the same principle. And I tried to give this a line of sight best I could, even though it's old school stuff. The line of sight's terrible with this stuff, so I gave it a line of sight best I could and straightened it out. And that should give it a lot more signal to pull in the boosters. We'll see if this works out to my liking and Adam's liking, hopefully. So anyway, guys, I thought I'd show you this stuff, and maybe a little light might help it a little bit better. As you can see, you get a lot of shadows, and it doesn't really come off on YouTube how it looks in person, and we've discussed that many times. But there's your update, fellas. Adam's on his way to pick the stuff up. As far as I know, these will be going and getting a valve job on them and some welding, as far as I know. So I'm sure Adam, he'll be doing his own videos on the updates and future plans. So stay tuned and be looking to hopefully see this stuff on a kind of a stock block old school 302. And you'll have to tune to Adam's channel to know what I mean by that, because it's a stock block, but it might be a modified stock block. So hop over to his channel in the near future here. He'll be doing some updates on the stuff and some videos on a certain tool that he bought, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I appreciate your support and your time out of your day to watch what we're up to here, and your interest in all this, guys. Take care, and God bless you.